Hey folks, today we're covering Tinto Talks 90, and this is going to give us an update about what's happening in EU5 at the moment. And as they say at the beginning, patch 1.0.8, that is now out for all players. It is no longer in the open beta system, but to replace this, we're going to get patch 1.0.10 onto the beta server tomorrow. So from tomorrow, you'll be able to opt into this one if you want to give the latest changes to the game a little bit of a try. And what's going to be in this patch? Well, they say there's over 450 changes, and they're going to highlight some of the most important ones that they want to call out. So the first thing, there's new advances when forming Italy, Sokoto, Manchu, Kurdistan, Malacca, and Malaya. So that's going to give you some additional technologies once you form those countries. I think that's a pretty good change. It is a little bit underwhelming if you form a new country and then you kind of get nothing out of doing it. So I do like they're adding some of these into the game. The next thing is a massive change. Rebalancing of proximity, reducing some sources of proximity and making lakes and rivers more impactful. Roads as well, when built, will ignore vegetation impact when it comes to proximity. So another pretty sizable change coming to the game. They seem to do these about every 2 weeks. Some pretty major changes. We've obviously just gone through the levy and trade changes, and now it looks like proximity is getting a change as well. Let me know what you think about this. I think it is a good change by the sounds of it. Just making lakes and rivers more impactful. Historically, obviously, rivers are a major part of control in the world, and that is going to be brought into the game a little bit more than it currently is. I think this will reduce the meta of having your capital on the coastline and then really just expanding along your coastline, because then you would have more proximity, more control, and then you got more out of your lands yourself. So I think this is probably a good change. It is kind of wild. You'll have to let me know in the comments down below how often they are changing pretty sizable systems in the game. I guess it's good, they're making them better, but I don't know. Part of me is like, they're going through these very, very quickly. Maybe like have a bit of a chill. Maybe give it till after Christmas. See what really are the major issues in the game. And then take a bit more time in designing the replacement or the update. As we saw with trading and the levy system, they took a couple of reiterations for it to come out how it is currently now in the game with the previous patch being released. And I don't think it works perfectly for either of those, even after their reworks. I think that will have to be changed again in the future. Rebalancing levies versus regulars, and then also the trade system, probably needing a little bit more of a rework as well. But this is going to be another big change, proximity updating. Again, I think this is probably a good change to do. But it feels like this close to Christmas, maybe just do bug fixing, some other minor changes, and leave the big reworks maybe till next year. But anyway, I don't design games. I'm sure they know much better than me, but I do think it might be a little bit wiser for them to give a little bit more time to think about these. But we'll see tomorrow how it does work in the beta patch. And then the last change they want to highlight, some buildings like marketplaces and market villages now increase market access as well. So these are going to be better for expanding your market access out into the rest of your realm, making it a little bit more profitable for these further afield industries to make money for you. So I think, again, this one probably is a good change. We'll see what the balancing's like for it. But this will mean you'll probably make more money, I would think, from your economy, especially if you own a larger realm and some of it doesn't have good market access. I think this will mean you will make more money. On top of this, there's going to be some AI and UI improvements. There's a lot of UI improvements needed for this game, but they do want to show us two of them here. So the first one is now showing you building production efficiency in the building tab. You can see that on the screen at the moment. It will show all the sources of your production efficiency, and then also will help you decide where to build your buildings. They do say as well, in the future, this will also show you for unbuilt buildings. So if you haven't got a building currently, it will also show you what the production efficiency would be if you build that building and start making that good in your realm. So again, just giving you more information so you can make those decisions yourself. The next addition they're going to make to the UI is showing it so you can see your tax base and actual income for each category of building in the building tab. So you can see this view, you can see on the screen at the moment. You can already see a version of this in the game where you can see the different categories of buildings. So raw material production, basic economy, weapons industry, consumer goods. A little bit more how it looks in EU4. There is a toggle at the top of this UI where you can change it between the different views. But this change is going to add some different information. As you can see here, you can see the tax base and then how much you tax that as well. And this, similar to the previous change, is going to give you more information so you can decide again which buildings you want to build, what kind of buildings you want to build. As you can see in this example, you can see consumer goods making you a lot of money. Trade buildings, for example, not making you as much money, but obviously that's the direct money. It would make you money through the trade system. So maybe that needs to look a little bit different. But you can see again further down, the different village types, they probably would make you money if you build them. Some more information, especially for new players, maybe what kind of buildings to focus on if you are struggling for money or if you want to build out your economy side of the game. And with that, that's their quick preview of this patch. As I said, this will be with us tomorrow. So if you play the beta patches, you'll be able to pick this up tomorrow, give it a try, and then give them some feedback as well. For the rest of the dev diary, they're just going to give us some cool stats about the game. So the game has been out for a month now, and they're going to show us now the most popular starts in the game. And for me, I'm a bit surprised. Castile is nearly 10% of starts that people have done. I really thought England or France would be further up. I mean, look at France, 12. Maybe people don't like to play totally busted realms that are way overpowered. Maybe though. But you can see Ottoman second, Holland third, which is a surprise to me. Holland is really fun to play, but I'm surprised it's that high. And then England is fourth. I kind of thought England would be the first or second one, but looks like it's down in fourth. The Byzantines obviously getting some love, and then Portugal, all these different ones as well. So let me know if you've played any of these realms. How did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy playing as that realm? I'm surprised Mali isn't further up this. A fantastic realm to play. A lot of trading, a lot of money, some cool events, some very not cool events as well. The fall of Mali is very punishing depending on when it hits you, but I'm surprised that's not in the top 15 realms. But anyway, let me know which ones you've played and if you enjoyed them as well. And then the last thing they're going to show us are the 5 most popular buildings, and that is Market Village, Irrigation Systems, Marketplace, Lumber Mill, and Mason. I'm very surprised paper making buildings or book making buildings aren't in the top 5. If you're like me, they're probably the buildings you're just constantly spamming. No one ever has enough paper, especially if you don't have enough books, and it feels like I'm always building those buildings, but it's not in the top 5 buildings built by players. Now it says players. I wonder if it also includes though like your estate buildings that the estates build, because they do often build many of these buildings. So maybe that's included as well. I'm just very surprised bookmaking buildings isn't the top one. I get why marketplaces are. That would probably be the most built building. But anyway guys, that is the end of the dev diary this week. Let me know how you're enjoying the game at the moment. I've taken a little bit of a break from EU5. I think I'm going to wait till they have a couple more patches, get a little bit more stability into how the systems of the game work. It's just very annoying to play a game and then a whole system like the levy system or the trade system keeps getting these changes. I do like that they're doing these beta patches. I think that is a fantastic way for it to work. So you can opt into them. You understand it's going to be a little bit less stable, and then you can try them out, give the feedback, and then it makes them better for everybody else when it comes to the main game. But I think even the main game, the amount of changes they're making at the moment, way more than I thought they would be at this point of the game. I think I'm going to take a little bit of a break till after Christmas probably and see what's happening from there. Now, obviously, I'm going to keep doing videos on it. I do really enjoy this game. I think it could be really, really good in the future. There's just some pretty big changes I think they need to make. A lot of improvements for the UI. I almost feel like it needs a UI 2.0, but we'll see what they do in 2026 with the UI. Hopefully, there are some improvements. And then everything else, it just needs a lot more polish, I think. And I'm sure we're going to keep seeing that with each of these patches. I think the patch that they're talking about today, probably the last patch we're going to get in 2025. And then probably like mid-January, late January, we'll probably get a pretty big patch. And then they have already said February is going to be the big patch where they make some other big changes and also some sizable improvements to the game as well, I'm sure. So let me know again in the comments down below if you're enjoying the game, who you're playing as, or if you're already off the hype train for this game and maybe you're waiting for some big updates in the future. We do have some DLC early next year as well, so maybe that'll make some improvements as well. But anyway, we'll leave it there for today. Hit the like button if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I cover Crusader Kings 3 on the channel, and then obviously I'm still covering Europa Universalis 5 as well, but I cover other historical strategy games as well on the channel. But we'll leave it there for today, and I'll see you all next time.